This prisoner secretly drinks 20 pounds of tap water before eating. Then he would do 200 push-ups. When he sensed that his stomach was upset, he would return to the canteen and stuff his mouth with food. When the warden comes to inspect him, he pretends to cough violently. The next moment, the prisoner vomits all his food at the warden's feet. The guards rushed the prisoner to the infirmary. Unbeknownst to him, the prisoner had set up a trap. After a series of checks by the nurse, he was found to be fine. Just as the nurse was about to leave, Mark suddenly said he needed to go to the bathroom. The nurse had no choice but to ask another inmate to accompany her. But she didn't know that this inmate was also Mark's accomplice. When Mark entered the bathroom, he immediately pulled off the bottle and threw it into the rubbish bin. Then he stepped on the toilet lid and took out the tools he had already prepared. When Mark pried open the door to the wall, there was a tunnel for one person. Then he puts the door back on as if nothing had happened. At the other end of the tunnel was a tool room. The two of them then put the wooden frames they had prepared under the car and hid themselves inside. They hid themselves underneath the car because they could hide from the guards' reflectors. When the car arrived at the petrol station, they secretly removed the door panel and jumped out. Then they went to the blue sports car that was waiting for them to escape. But that was just the first step in their plan. The annual championship race was about to begin. When Jack saw this in the prison, he nodded to Carl. Carl, in a moment of clarity, stepped in front of Jack and started to cause a scene. A fight breaks out. A couple of guards ring the alarm. This was the first time that such a large-scale disturbance had ever occurred. As soon as the alarm went off, the warden called for all personnel to enter the lockdown area. Before the nurse knows what's going on, she's isolated by a protective door. The guards wanted to call for backup, but the warden stopped them. He didn't want to jeopardize his performance during his tenure. Unexpectedly, all this was expected by Mark. The warden was ready to negotiate with the inmates in order to solve the problem sooner rather than later. But they wouldn't listen to him. They even smeared the security cameras with soya sauce. Then they covered the glass with plates and tinfoil so they wouldn't know what was going on inside. The reason the inmates did this was to buy Mark enough time, because he needed a day to complete the vault ransacking. That's the real reason for his escape.